So we've built trust with this image. We've built trust with the review. We've introduced the product in a very candid way. And then we're basically helping the individual that's watching the ad understand, okay, here is the benefits that you get. So it's combining two different types of ads, or actually three different types of ads that we all have in our ad account: review style, candid UGC, and feature benefit.
Look at the review. It talks about as a mom of three.
Yes.
So I'm really interested, like a mom of three who's traveling. A mom of three, when she's traveling, you have no idea how much packing, how much stress you have to go through to actually go to travel. So it felt like it listened to that specific kind of mom. And then it talks about like the benefit here is like, today we are another episode and we have exciting new stuff for you, which is basically new ads that are working for us and new tactics that are working for us, or whatever that is new in the world of advertising. So let's get into it. So Marco, how has the past week? I've realized lately that the numbers are down. So I want to know, like, before getting into the podcast, like, are you also seeing the numbers down? I like across all brands, I see the numbers going down. I don't see the change in CPMs and CPC, but like, I feel like we need to talk about this.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, and I've got some good stuff for you today. But honestly, up until yesterday or Monday at the earliest, things have been pretty good. Since Monday, results have dropped quite a bit. I think we're starting to see the sort of tail ends of what everybody else has been talking about. But up until then, things have been actually really solid. Not many like CPM issues, CTC issues, CPC issues, CTR issues. CPAs are stable. ROAS has been stable. Like, we've had a really good February and beginning into March.
I think it's Monday. Since Monday.
Since Monday, things have been
happening. And I actually don't trust that a lot. But as soon as I see somebody talking on Reddit that performance is down, I'm burning my money. And I was like, probably like Reddit guys, they suck anyway. Sorry about that. They suck anyway. And they're like all the time complaining. So I thought maybe it's just not a signal from you because they're all the time complaining about bad performance. But when you go to this subreddit called Facebook ads and you just scroll down again and again and again and again and again, and you're like, oh, it seems like it's just not me. It's actually we all are experiencing this. And then I'm like, I need to do something about it. So I told all the clients, I reduced the budget. I said, hey, let's wait a little bit, see if it crawls back to the normal number. I think Facebook is updating their actual algorithm and the UX probably, and that's the reason why everything is currently wonky. I have no solution for it other than reducing the budgets. I know what you guys do. How do you communicate to your clients? I usually say like, hey, I'm reducing it. I'll come back. There's nothing we can do about it. But I try to do proactively. So like, instead of them coming to me why numbers are down, they already know that the numbers are down.
I think proactive is super important, right? And I think the moment we notice that things are trending downwards, most of our clients get a message every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday anyway. And so it just falls in line to tell them, hey, we're going to reduce budget slightly here because we're seeing some trends across multiple accounts. And just to make sure that you're isolated and protected from it, decrease budgets for a couple of days, and then we'll likely scale back up. Any creative testing, we might just delay a day or two, and they're all pretty okay with it.
Also, you also delay creative testing. If I don't see that much of dip, I don't reduce the creative testing budget because I need to still figure out a winner from even this suckiest week anyway. So that's how I'm doing it. But like, good to know that you're also struggling. I'm not alone. And that's why the Performers Mastermind is there, right? We all ask all the questions, high trustworthy community where we just know that, okay, it's not just us doing alone, like a lot of people are doing it. So join the community if you want. And
it's a great community. You should join. I loved it.
Good.
It's the only community I check every day.
That's a good compliment. Thank you so much.
Okay. What do you got for me today?
I have a very interesting tool right now. You know how we talked about... So this tool has blew my mind because I thought nobody would be able to achieve that in 2025. And this tool is as an ad tool, as an AI tool. And what it does is that all the AI tools, they have one big problem. And the one big problem they have is that they are not able to make the lip sync work really well. So this AI tool they're about to launch today, they reached out to me to actually help them promote. And in exchange of a free tool, in exchange of supporting them, I got this tool and I'm going to show you the video of before and after. And let me show you it so you can see how it will blow your mind. So let me give you a quick... So the only thing with AI tool, the biggest suckiest part is that, it sucks when the lip sync doesn't work. But
Horrible.
with
That's the number one complaint we get from clients. And like, if we want to try an ad with an AI influencer or whatever it might be, that's the number one objection we get. So I'm excited to see this.
yeah, so I mean, I have 100 other objections, but this one is I have to show you too. Like for me, it's like I sell a, how do you say it, like a baby brand, and so in baby brand, it's very hard to show like a AI tool, like so that we can't do. So let me share my screen. So look at this.
I tried this viral ring light so you don't have to.
I tried this viral ring light so you don't have to. I tried this viral ring light so you don't have to.
Okay, tell me your reviews.
I love it. I can see the difference. It's actually really good. It feels so much more natural.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I think there will be a place for AI, especially like today. I tweeted about it. I tweeted that a lot of my creators are asking for usage right, tweaking rights, raw videos rights, and they're charging us so much money. I don't even know how to use those videos, but they're charging so much money up front. I'm like, if they're charging so much money, I might just go to, AI to build the basic videos and then give them pennies, which is actually affecting the market. I'm not sure if UGC creators are smart enough to understand that they have to like work with the brand rather than charging as a cash grab. So I think AI is changing as usual this year. I think this is the year. I have a couple of other brands that are launching a lot of things with AI, so I'm excited to talk about. So that's a number one new exciting update for you. But what's also really important is that I will see more things coming in place, and I think at some point they'll be like, okay, there'll be commodity. I see this guy called Jess on Twitter. I don't know if you follow him or not, but what I've seen is like he's sitting on AI AI ads. Oh, our cost per video is right now $1.2 because of this AI. I think he's going to the extreme,
Hmm.
and I mostly I'm on his side, but I feel like this lip sync issue could actually solve for a lot of brands that are small and people who don't care about. So there'll
Yeah.
be high production. I think overall the video ads will not change. It's just like there's an additional like optionality that we got that we're using it.
I think it enables a lot of brands that maybe can't afford, especially smaller brands, to pay these crazy UGC rates right now. I mean, the other day I was quoted $5,000 just to create the video, and then they wanted another $3,000 for usage rights for 30 days, and you're just like, no, you don't even have that big of a following, which doesn't matter, but like it's just completely irrelevant. And so smaller brands that might not have that kind of budget or want to invest that kind of money because, that's stupid money to invest for a 30-second video, these will definitely have a place, and we are testing them more and more. I'm a big fan of, other tools that have been doing this, and lip syncing issues has been a problem and it takes forever to get it right, but I'm really excited to try this. This looks really cool.
Okay. Here's the next update for you.
Yes.
You know how we said like creative is a new targeting?
Yes.
So I think creative is still in a new targeting, but what has changed right now is that we have to improve our media buying. You know how you talked about like this tool called Magic Axe, and they're helping you to automate your media buying. I think there is a tool right now that I tested. I promoted in the community. It's called Proxima. So what Proxima does is it finds the Shopify audience who's already buying, and it's finding other audience which are in high purchase intent mode, and then it actually shows your ad to that specific audience. And then what they do is they make a specific targeting for that. I tested it from like 20th of January to like 6th of February, and I did the whole test around it. And what I found out that the cost per standard from the control experiment for this client of mine, although they are not even on Shopify and they still saw good results, was that the cost per acquisition was on average was $100, and the cost per acquisition for Proxima audience was around $79.
Damn.
Which means that it has brought the cost $21 down. So it has a lot of incrementality. The tool itself is like trying to be very intelligent, try to find the audience for you. So broad advertising is anyway really, really important. We are doing it anyway, and creative is important. But just like having this additional set of targeting that you can actually apply, I feel this would be a game changer. But the biggest problem right now, what I feel is that Facebook UI is moving to just advantage sales campaign now. So probably they will not even let you do that. But as long as we have it, I think you should give it a try. I think it's worth the investment if nothing else is working in your ad account, especially if there's nothing else is working in your ad account.
We have a few clients using Proxima and they love it. I'm glad to hear that others are getting it to work as well. We've seen some good
So,
CPAs.
is that a secret tool that you never were planning to tell me?
No.
So tell me your feedback. Tell me how is it working for you?
It's hit or miss. I don't know if you're getting paid, so I don't want to undermine what you're saying.
We're not getting paid. I mean,
Okay.
I'm getting paid, but you're not.
No, I'm saying you, not me.
Don't worry. Just say whatever your honest opinion is.
Okay.
That's what most people.
We had some issues with it at the beginning, and it wasn't performing very well. But over time, we've started to see clients that stuck with them, performance really improve. Especially CAC come down on lower AOV items, which has been really, really helpful. Where we struggled to get the AOV up and get the CPA down, and so with Proxima, we were able to get the CPA down without having to change the AOV, and that was very, very helpful. And so I think there's a time and a place for it. And at the beginning, it was rough, but it's gotten a lot better since then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying like it's a hit or a miss, but you should definitely give it a try.
Give it a try.
It may work out for you. And the interesting thing you talked about was it's actually the low AOV. So I think we should definitely give that a try and see if that works out. Every tool is different for everybody and it may work, it may not. For me, it worked out even though we were not on Shopify. So that was the most interesting element out of it. The third thing that I'm really excited about, I gave a huge cliffhanger last time. So I want to talk about it, which is basically which ad is working for me, which is a carousel ad. And I've never seen a carousel ad work. Actually, if you look at the ad, this ad is hideous. It actually, I was completely wrong about it. So carousel ads usually suck. They mostly don't work for any of the brands usually. They take a lot of time to make it. You have to put a lot of content in there. You have to make sure every pacing is correct. You have to tell a story in a way that people get it. Carousel was very popular in 2017, 15 times. And since then, they are dead somehow. I've seen only a couple of times it has worked for me. But the most important thing I've figured out with carousel ads is that with this ad that is winning and why it is winning. The most important part is why it's winning. So let's get into it, why it's winning. So you can apply this, especially if you're in health and wellness or any complicated product category.
I'm excited to see this.
This is the ad. The brand actually, just to give some context, the brand is for women who are in their menopause. And one of the biggest problem when you're going through menopause is your hormone. So this helps with the hormone replacement therapy. And the reason why I think this ad worked is because the ad talks about a very important hormone that we are all aware of that actually makes us dance if we don't know how is it going with our body, which is called thyroid. So I feel like it was a very technical element that a lot of, especially women, are aware of their thyroid and how it affects their mood, body, sleep, and everything. And so they talked about thyroid is the missing puzzle. Thyroid is the missing piece of the puzzle, and then talk about how the menopause connection through thyroid and estrogen is actually affecting you, and then talk about the function of thyroid, how that they're talking about the symptoms through thyroid. They talk about these two duos, thyroid and testosterone, how it actually impacts a woman as well. So they're really talking about symptom, technical problem, technical hormone that is all affecting your body. And if you really want to have a holistic approach of these different hormones, what you can actually do is you can actually get into learning about this specific hormone through hormone replacement therapy, which is what the brand is offering. And that specific carousel, if you look at the carousel, it doesn't look good. It's not very simple, common ad principles, but sometimes you have to break the rules, right? And it's very artistic in a way because that's how brand want to portray themselves in the organic ad. But this crushed it. Our average cost on this specific brand is around $120, $150, but this was $29. So even if I scale it, I have not scaled it that much, but even if you get to $50, 1/3 of the actual CAC. So it has a lot of scaling potential. So this is an ad that's working for us. So I think you should definitely give it a try. If you are into complicated product, you're talking about something technical, and if you're already answering something that it is in people's mind. So that way you will be able to bring the cost down. And this specific insight, I didn't have it, but after running this ad from the organic post made me realize how much humble performance marketing makes us.
I love this ad, and it's a really interesting way of using a carousel ad where you can display and communicate more information, not in video format, but in simple static format, and keep people engaged. So that was That was a really, really good ad. I like that.
Good.
I like that a
I am
lot.
excited what you have to talk about because you have a huge document, like list of things that you talk about. So I think you have a story to tell. So let's get into it.
I love tools just as much as the next guy. I love that we get to talk about tools on this because tools are important. However, I'm literally watching a founder destroy his 8-figure business right now, and he won't listen to anyone. Every single week, at this point, it's every single few days, we get on a call and he tells us, I found this new tool that's going to save our business. I found this new tool that's going to save our business. I saw this thing on Twitter that's going to save our business. I saw this thing on Twitter that's going to bring down our CAC 100%. I saw this ad on Twitter I saw this post on Twitter where this guy claims he can get you a 23 ROAS. Like, okay, all of those things may be true. All of those tools are possibly great. But if the fundamentals of your business aren't correct, you're fucked. And so I think it's important, as much as we talk about the different tools that we always talk about or that we're enjoying using and that are actually working for us, that if you find yourself in a cycle of constantly testing different tools, but your CAC is not improving, your ROAS is not improving, your CPA is not improving, you're not able to spend, or your conversion rate is low, you have a different problem that a tool cannot solve for you. You have a fundamental business problem. So I think it's important that founders, marketers, etc., take a step back and actually look at the product, look at the business as a whole. And so like one way that we do this as an agency is we ask our clients in the initial calls, how many agents have you been through recently? It helps us understand, okay, is this an agency problem? Is this a marketing problem? Is this a product problem? Where's the issue? And like this founder has a problem right now where his CPA is high. Okay. But with creative testing, he's refusing to do anything other than a previous winner and variants off of it. So his entire ad account is just an old winner and 150 variants. Nothing else. No new angles, no new scripts, no new nothing. They try these different tools to solve them. Not going to help. You're running the same shit over and over again. It's not going to do anything. Conversion rate is super low. What does he do for CRO? He installs all of the different CRO tools that make these crazy claims on Twitter. All of them running at the same time. His conversion rate is going down, 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 and down, and down, and down, and down, continuously in the wrong direction. Like, we have to take a step back and look at the fundamentals. Okay, his AOV is super low on this one as well. Refuses to do any offer testing, right? We're talking a sub $55 CP, sub $55 AOV, which on Meta is hard to like get profitable depending on your niche, etc., etc. But instead of trying to like create a bundle or, adjust the offer slightly in terms of positioning, so maybe increasing the price and making the benefits seem a little higher if those are true, none of that is being done. Instead, we're just throwing the same creatives at the same problem, using new tools every single week with no change in outcome. And I think this isn't the first time that I'm seeing this. And especially at a time like right now when things are a little bit rougher. I don't know if you saw Sean's post the other day about like the state of e-com in the last 5 years. It's been a fucking mess. And I think the solution to a lot of the problems that a lot of founders are facing is just to take a step back from the business, go for a run, whatever it is that you might do, and just focus on the fundamentals and get those right. Like read Breakthrough Advertising for all I care, or Alchemy by Rory Sutherland. Like these things, or Sutherfield, whatever his name is. There's a lot of things that tools can help you with, but if you don't get the foundation correctly, everything else will fall apart. There's a reason why these, dropshippers can scale, or these founders can scale really, really quickly. It's because they got the fundamentals correct and then used tools on top of it as like a cherry on top of the cake to actually hit the scale button. But without the fundamentals, everything else goes to shit. I've seen this happen so many times throughout the last 8 to 10 years that, founders get distracted by shiny object syndrome and all these different tools, that I think it's important to mention, get the fundamentals right, baby.
Okay, so, in our mastermind, I actually had an interview with somebody who had a 9-figure business, and his advice was actually 9-figure supplement business and get the fundamentals right. What the fuck is fundamentals in your opinion?
That's a good question. So I think the fundamentals are having a product that people want, having a high AOV, especially in today's marketing world, making sure that you have a consistent CAC over the last rolling 90 days and continuously staying to that, and making sure that your conversion rate is at least at average or above, right? And in ecom, I think the average conversion rate is 1.8 or is it 3.3? I can't remember right now.
No number.
Whatever it is, I'm blanking. If you get those simple things right, you can then start actually pushing the scale button. You have to have a good offer. You have to have a good product. You have to have some real reviews on there. You have to I think the biggest and most important thing right now is just making sure that your offer is something that people want. And the moment you have that in place, a lot of the other things fall in place as well.
What about understanding your customers, knowing exactly what they need, trying to place your product in a positioning in a way that makes your product unique, but even better what they are looking for, focusing on education and trying to focus on differently, and obviously creative testing, our love of our life. So those things.
I think all of those are important and all of those are things that you cannot ignore. The thing that I would say to those though is that to get the fundamentals right, you have to know who your customer is. You have to sort of understand those basic principles already. And who your customer is might change, right? We've had customers and clients launch their products thinking that it's going to be moms that are buying it, but through testing, we find that it's dads buying it for, their daughters and not moms buying it for themselves. And so you sort of explore and you figure those things out. And if you're in that testing stage where you're trying to find out what your fundamentals are and what ultimately your offer is going to be, who you're going after, it's okay to experiment. But once you have those down and you have your main core segments, I think it's important that you don't stray away too far from them and that you continuously target them and optimize for them.
Interesting. So don't shoot yourself in the
foot.
Try to get your fundamentals right before you're trying to scale. But I have another rebuttal for you. This brand is 8-figure already. So if they would not have their fundamentals right.
You can undo your fundamentals if you keep doing dumb shit.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, not testing anything new creatively. Just, we have a winner. We're going to double down on it. We're not going to make any new changes to it other than slight variants. You're going to milk that to death, and then in 6 months' time, 3 months' time, hell, even, you might be stuck there with no creatives that are working on your ad account, starting at zero again, having to redo all of the creative testing. You can totally tank your conversion rate, especially as things get more and more expensive, CPMs and things like that, if your AOV is low and you're not doing anything to continue with the rising costs. There's brands that out there that started with low AOVs that are now double their AOV as they were 18 months ago because they need to stay competitive in this market. So as much as you sort of figure those things out, you have to continuously make sure that you're evolving with whatever is that's working at the moment.
Cool. So you talked about what's not new and what's not working, but everybody still has to focus. What is new for us?
I have 2 ads that I'm really enjoying right now. So we have a client that usually does 10, 15K days in terms of revenue, fairly low, and we launched this new type of ad, and since then he's been doing 40K days consistently, no dips, very strong performance. And I want to show you this ad because I think it combines a couple of different fundamentals that we just talked about into one good ad here. At first glance, this ad looks super, super basic, right? It's a picture that someone took of themselves, selfie style, with a little bit of text on it. But if you dive into it a little bit more, you can actually see that they applied super simple principles to it. So there's 2 ways that this ad is building trust. The first one is there's an individual taking a selfie that looks candid, holding a product like she would. I could see my wife take this picture, for example, or I could see her friends take this picture. Or if you were scrolling on Instagram and you might see a picture like this, it wouldn't feel out of place. It feels native. It feels authentic. And I think they did a really good job with the picture. The second way that they're building trust is with this review that they put up top. And I think there's a specific part of this review that I want to highlight. It's talking about the best hydration mix on the market. Okay, the headline relates to the product. We can see that she's holding a water bottle. It's a slightly discolored water, so we can assume there's something in there that isn't just water, right? So it's a hydration mix in this case. And then the second thing that I want to highlight is the 4 days ago is when this review was left. I think the fact that it was so recent and not a random arbitrary date, but they specifically chose 4 days, again builds trust because this review seems like it's new. Obviously, if they're running this for 6 months, 4 days ago was 6 months ago. But the fact that to a viewer that's looking at this ad, those 2 things immediately start building trust and get someone to stop whatever they're doing. Now that you have the person's attention, you've built a little bit of trust with them, what does the ad do? It then sort of focuses your attention with the arrow down to your number one travel essential. So you can see the angles clearly focusing on travel, all natural, zero added sugar, essential electrolytes. So we've built trust with this image. We've built trust with the review. We've introduced the product in a very candid way. And then we're basically helping the individual that's watching the ad understand, okay, here is the benefits that you get. So it's combining two different types of ads, or actually three different types of ads that we all have in our ad account: review style, candid UGC, and feature benefit, into one really well crafted, well laid out ad that is super simple, but I think has been on the ad account for a really long time and looks to be doing really, really well.
So there are things that you still have not identified, I'll tell you. One thing
Yes.
is that it focuses on a use case, which is travel.
Yes.
So like not any other time you're using travel. When you look at the review, it talks about as a mom of three. So
Yes.
I'm really interested, like a mom of three who's traveling. A mom of three, when she's traveling, you have no idea how much packing, how much stress you have to go through to actually go to travel. So it felt like it listened to that specific kind of mom. And then it talks about like the benefit here is like, it says like my symptoms from jet lag on long haul flights have reduced. And that's the most important thing. And it's like, oh my
Yes.
God. Like, so like, it's a really good review. I was kind of put off when he said the best hydration mix on the market, which is like, oh, is it really best? Or it's just like a generic
It's a bit
headline?
generic, right?
But like when you like really click on it and you'll see like what she's talking about, it like so, and looks this woman, I don't know if she's mom of three, but she looks like the mom of three would want to,
Well,
be
what
one.
she would want to look
It's
like.
like the aspirational category. And so I feel like it's an amazing ad. I would have actually never stolen it until you would have told me, and there are principles to it. So great job bringing it in. This is the thing, you can't get it on Twitter. That's
That's true.
like, like on Twitter, there's so much noise. Like here, like we can two people talking about the ad that's working. Places like this is why you should subscribe to the YouTube channel and the podcast wherever you're listening to.
Yes, subscribe. All right, so we've all been told to run this sort of format. We see it constantly on X, like you just said. I think we're all too afraid to mix different formats into one single ad. We all see like review ads. We all see these different type of ads, and we don't do a good job of applying them to our business or like thinking for ourselves and tweaking them slightly. And so I wanted to highlight, continuing with the same thing that we just looked at, a new type of ad. And I really like this one. I think it's, again, super simple, but it combines a couple of different things. It looks like a bit of an ugly ad. You have a really interesting headline: Loving Mind for Adult Cystic Acne. Cool. Okay, it's telling you what it's about. Circled like really simply in Canva. Then we have the same headline again, but with a Facebook comment. I'm sure we all have run Facebook comment style ads in our ad account. They usually perform really, really well. This is just a slight twist on it. And then at the bottom, we have this interesting image that no one really understands. It's kind of like, if you remember, there was a trend going on for a while where people were doing split screen videos. The top was like a podcast and the bottom was like cars driving or whatever it was to catch people's attention. And I think those same things apply here, where strong headline, Facebook comment, and then like this split screen attention grabbing image or video below. And I think this ad does a really, really good job of combining different ad formats into one. And I like it. We're testing this for a client. Again, this is not our client, but we're testing this exact same format for a client. And it's absolutely become the top 3 performer in the ad account in the last 2 weeks.
Dude, why is this podcast so free?
It's a good ad. You should run it.
It's a good ad. And I have to say, like, I tried like showing the comments, ad within an ad, but this is like, and the best part, the product looks like a very natural product. It doesn't look like
Yes.
like shoving it in your face, like, oh, something ugly you must have made at home, but works. That's the feeling that it gives me. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna steal this ad right after. I hope you don't mind. And for people who are listening to the podcast, they should go to the YouTube channel and use all these links to actually figure it out which ad is this. But it's an amazing ad, and yeah, I think great job of bringing 2 new bangers. And that's all from our side. Anything else, Marco, from your side?
That's it. I'm going to go steal some of yours now. I really like that one.
Yeah, that's crucial one, is like if you have a health client.
Yeah, we have
Take
one.
it in.
And I know exactly who I'm going to apply it for.
Perfect. Until now. Bye-bye.